what's up? Tyson France with Motion Revolver here. Thanks a lot for purchasing the Flat USA Election Icons package. We'll dive right in here to show you how the project is customized. It's very simple, very straightforward. Not a ton to do in terms of steps here, but everything in the project folder, once you open the project, this is what you'll see here on the left. Step 1, 2, and 3 would just follow the steps, and in step 1 is where we import any assets that we're going to need for the project. If you're just using the After Effects project to render the icons out, then there's really no need to import anything, but anything you do import, it's always a good idea to keep it in that folder so you know where to find it when you need it. Moving on to step 2, the global customization panel is where pretty much we can change the look of all the icons in the pack through this little interface right here. Excuse me. So we have 3 main colors. The Republican color, Democrat color, and the neutral color. So any of these swatches that we change will be reflected throughout the project. Now there are further customizations that we can do within each icon itself, but this will change the overall global color palette for the entire project. So if we click on the little swatches here, or we can also click on the layers in the timeline, we want to make sure that our effects control window is open. And if you don't see this little window somewhere on your screen, go up to window and make sure that the effects control thing is checked right there. That'll make it a lot easier to customize this. So if we wanted the Republican swatch, say, if you're not already aware, the Republican Party is usually denoted by a red color. The Democrat Party is usually denoted by a blue color. So that's why these colors are the way they are. But my mouse keeps jumping around on me here. But let's say we wanted this to be a more vibrant red color. We just click on the swatch and then go to our tint color here. And then we can make it darker and maybe like a more vibrant red. Something a little bit less washed out. There we go. Now it's a little bit more vibrant. We'll jump ahead here just to kind of show you what that looks like. Actually, I'll show you in the backgrounds. All right, so we have one of our backgrounds here. And if I go ahead and change this color again, as you can see, this is kind of a washed out, lighter red color. Works well for video. If we wanted this to be a more vibrant, darker red, and we go over here, now you can see it's a much more saturated red. Just to make the change a little bit more obvious, maybe what I'll do is just make this a neon green color, and we'll go to our background here. Now you can see we completely changed the look of the project. But anyway, this is how you customize the main colors here. Just in this global color customization panel. And it's that simple. There's really nothing more to do in terms of the colors. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump to step 3. And step 3, there's 2 folders inside called backgrounds and icons. And the backgrounds folder obviously is where the backgrounds live. There are 6 different background options. 2 are blue, 2 are red, 1 is white, and 1 is gray. The 2 red and blue ones have light and dark stars. So this is the dark star version, and this is the light star version. So you can use these to display text over or images, video. They're just real simple, basic background animations that are good for, you know, a wide array of uses. Not much more to talk about there, so we'll jump ahead to the icons. And in the icons folder, everything's organized based on what we're looking for. If we can't find a specific icon that we need, if we go up here to step 1 and open up the ref folder and double click this little PSD file, this isn't updated yet, but this will show the composition names. When you open up this file, it will have the composition name underneath the icon, so you'll be able to just type in here and search what you're looking for. So say for example, this would say White House underneath it. If you need to find the White House icon and you're not really sure which folder to look through, you just go here to your little search feature and type in White House. And as you can see, we have our little White House prep icon. We can open that up, and there we go. There's our White House icon. So again, just to kind of go back and show you that again, If we're looking for a specific icon that we can't find and we don't feel like opening up all these folders, just go up to the ref here, and I'll also make this a PDF file in the tutorials folder so that you can reference it there as well. But we just open this icon style sheet PSD file, which will, again, in your version, it will contain the names of the compositions so that you can then search for that composition name in this search feature, which will then narrow down the search results in the project window, allowing you to easily find what you're looking for. So anyway, we'll close that up. And we will go back to our icons. Get this organized here so we know what we're looking at. So all of these icons are essentially animated through a small set of keyframes. And beyond customizing the actual colors, you probably want to be able to customize the overall duration, because they do have in animations and out animations. So if we open up, actually, what's a good example? We'll just start with the American flag. If we open up the American flag wave icon, and we'll preview the first second here, you see that it just kind of pops on the screen, real simple, and then waves like so. And then in this composition, which is 20 seconds long, it's set to animate off the screen at 10 seconds, as you can see there. So any layer that has this little out tab likely has keyframes that need to be adjusted if we want to change the overall duration of an animation. So let's say we only needed this icon to be 5 seconds long. We would just draw a marquee box over all of the keyframes and then drag that back to 5 seconds, and then it would begin animating off at 5 seconds. If we needed it to be a maximum of 5, we could just set the keyframes there and it would be gone by 5 seconds. But we could also move this just so that we know where the keyframes are. That's up to you, sort of optional, but just to show you that it's there. To show you another icon with more elements involved, we'll open up the stars and just open up the stars around here. So as you can see, preview this animation as well. The star animates on the screen nice and smoothly, plays for 10 seconds, and then right here, these two layers control the main animation. So if I highlight them in the timeline and then hit the U key to show the animated properties, we'll see that there's two sets of keyframes here. So again, if we wanted our icons to animate off the screen in 5 seconds, we would just draw a box around all of the keyframes and then drag them back to the 5 second mark, and then the icon will animate off the screen. Now you want to make sure that you're dragging all of the keyframes, because if you only drag the keyframes on one layer, you're probably going to screw up the timing. And again, we can move the out position here so that we know where it's at. But show you another example. Let's see, trying to think what else there is. Another. Say, for example, so each icon, even though it is essentially controlled through the same method, there are different ways. So, for example, this out layer actually controls the overall animation out of this icon. So it animates on the screen like so, and then at 10 seconds, it scales away like that. So in this version, all we have to do is, if we wanted to animate off at 5 seconds, we would just drag this whole layer, this whole control layer at the top here, and it would animate off the screen at 5 seconds. So you just have to kind of pay attention to what composition you're using and where the control keyframes are. But just to kind of go through what we have here. So we have our American flags, which we saw. We have some balloon animations, and again, here's another good example. If we wanted these keyframes or this icon to animate off the screen at 5 seconds, we would have to grab all of these icons. And again, we do that by highlighting the layers. We can highlight all of them if you want to make sure that you have them all. Hit the U key to show the animated properties, and then drag the keyframes back to the point in time where you want it to animate off. Now, this also works in the opposite way. You can extend the duration of the icon by moving these keyframes back in the timeline as well. But kind of show you how this works. There's our democratic balloon icon, animates on the screen, plays for 10 seconds, and then animates off. So there we go. Republican icon. I'm not going to go through all these because obviously you can preview them on your own. I'm not going to waste time doing that. But so those are your balloons. There's ballot animations. There's the Democratic ballot. There's the Republican. There's two buildings, which is the Capitol building and the White House. Two calendar animations. This is one I will go through a little bit just because there's a little bit of customization involved here. In subsequent years, the election date might not be on November 8th, so to customize the date, we just go into the setup folder here, and we can change the dates by just opening up these compositions. So the calendar page, we can change that to the main election date, and then for the flip version, there's pages that peel off 5, 6, 7, 8, so you have to change the dates for that as well, depending on when the election is. The check mark, basically the same as the stars and everything else. Political parties, there's a bunch of different, 6 different versions in here. The shield, just one of these for now, just basic shield. I might add more icons in the future, maybe for future elections I'll change things. We did the speech bubbles, there's the stars, the US maps, the vote icons. Just click through those real quick. The winner icons, these are for, if you're showing election results and you want to display this next to a candidate name that they project him to be the winner, or him or her, I should say, to be the winner of an election. You could use those. And then the year, there's only one composition in here, but for subsequent years, for say 2017 and beyond, to change this, all you need to do is highlight the composition in the project window and hit the Command D key, which will duplicate the comp and automatically update the year for you. And then go in here and then position your playhead somewhere in the middle where you can see the animation. And then this is live text, so just change the date, and there you go. Now you have a brand new date. Also, should have mentioned there are 2 fonts that you should install for this project. So that the registration stays the same and the design remains consistent. And those are the Montserrat font and the Babis New font, however you pronounce that. Those links to the free fonts are available in the project description and in the help file or the README file inside the zip. Also worth mentioning, all of these compositions are rendered, or are set up, I should say, in 4,000 by 4,000 dimension compositions. 4,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels, I should say. So 4K resolution, very large, will hold up to any modern broadcast needs. So if you're working with, let's just say we'll open up, we'll just start a test composition here. Actually, let's cancel that. Do new. We'll just call it test. All right, I have some images imported here. So we'll pretend that, let's see, it's a good one. We'll just use this Lincoln image. We'll pretend that this image is some footage that we're working with and we're building a video. And let's say we wanted our, we wanted to use one of our icons without pre-rendering it, which you can pre-render all of these icons to use in video projects so that you don't have to worry about dealing with the After Effects project. So let's say, for example, we'll go down here to our vote button. And we wanted our vote button to appear over this footage, but obviously it's very large because this is a standard definition composition. So all we do is place our little vote button on top, hit the S key to show the scale property, and scale that down as far as we want. Maybe to 10%. We'll put it up here in the corner somewhere. Make sure it's title safe. Maybe even scale it down even more to like 8% or something like that. And from here we can apply like drop shadow effects or lighting effects, whatever. but we'll just do a real quick scale here and show you how this works pre-rendered over the course of a few seconds. And there we go. So our little vote icon comes up on top of there, and that's how we can use these. Also, of course, if we wanted to render these out, these icons out, but didn't want them to be in 4K resolution, for example, we'll open this up, and actually we'll just place it right in the render queue. So I placed one of our icons in the render queue. If we don't want this to be 4K, one easy way we can do that is by clicking on the output module that we have set here. You're likely going to want to render these obviously with an alpha channel, so you want to use a codec that'll support an alpha channel, such as let's see, I don't have any saved in this version of After Effects. You could do lossless with alpha. It'll produce a fairly large file size. Or we could use something like PNG plus alpha, go to format options here, or Apple ProRes 4444 is a good one. It's a nice standard professional codec that holds an alpha channel. We just want to make sure that this is set to RGB plus alpha, trillions of colors. So if we don't want this to be 4000 by 4000, we can click this little resize thing here in the output module settings. And let's say we only needed the icon to be 1000 pixels large. We could set that to 1000 pixels, keep the resize quality high, and this will automatically shrink it down by 75%. So our icon will only be 25% the size of the original. So we can make smaller files that way if you don't need the 4000 by 4000. And of course, this works for any size. If you need a 2000 by 2000 or something random like 2160 by 2160, whatever it is that you need, you can size this to any dimension needs, up to 4000. Beyond that, you're going to be scaling it beyond its resolution capabilities. But I think that pretty much covers the project. I don't believe I missed anything, but as always, if you have any comments or questions or needed any further help, feel free to contact us through our Video Hive page. There's a contact form at the bottom, or through motionrevolver.com. You can also email me directly at tyson@motionrevolver.com. And once again, I appreciate you purchasing the Flat USA Election Icons project. It really means a lot. And good luck with your project.